Today on the Caucus, Megan Liberman and Michael Barbaro discuss the latest in the scandal engulfing Congressman Anthony Weiner.
So, Michael, for someone who had a lot of friends online, it seems that Anthony Weiner does not have a lot of friends in Washington these days.
No, and particularly in his own party. The Democratic Party is walking away from Anthony Weiner from top to bottom.
But the fact is, actually, he was never really a very popular guy in Washington, right? He didn't have a lot of friends in the Congress.
No, and I'll tell you why. He had a real go-it-alone style. Anthony Weiner, a bit of a camera hog. You could turn on Fox, MSNBC, any of the networks, and he was there yelling about healthcare, about funding to NPR. His colleagues didn't like that. And you know, when he ran for mayor last time, I remember talking to people back in '09. He was thinking about running. You know, tell me about Anthony Weiner's machine, the people who support him. And the joke was that he was a machine of one. And throughout this crisis,
we've seen that, right?
He kept his own counsel and he made his own mistakes. And in politics,
and that was clearly not a good idea.
Not a good idea. You're supposed to turn to the people who know how to handle this stuff.
Right, and he did not turn to really any of his advisors, right?
No, and in fact, his advisors are, I think many of them are actually steaming mad at what happened because some of them actually went out and said, on his behalf, his account had been hacked into, and now they've been revealed as liars in a way because they've been lied to by Weiner.
Right, and there has been talk about primary challenges, other people getting into even his House race if he has a House race
and
again.
That's kind of extraordinary because he has run unopposed for almost a decade. He's pretty popular in his district, even after this scandal. Folks like Eric Joy, who's a local council member in Queens, former council member, he is thinking about running. Others are beginning to think about throwing their hat into that race.
It's kind of amazing when you think about how much material is out there that this story didn't come out sooner.
Right.
Our colleague Jennifer Preston has a kind of amazing story today about a self-described conservative group on Twitter that's been warning young women for months.
Yeah, the conservative bloggers, you know, kind of a crew that Anthony Weiner treats as, you know, sort of dirty tricksters, people who want to do him harm. Strangely, we're trying to, they say, protect some of these women by telling them, you know, Anthony Weiner may be out there trolling for you. And people dismissed these as sort of wackos. It turned out that they were sort of right.
Something,
right.
And so now the question, of course, is his political survival. There is, you know, he's wanted to run for mayor. That seems to be sort of off the table right now, although I'm not sure that he thinks it is. There's the question of, will he run again for his seat? But there's also the question of whether he can actually even hold on and be forced to resign in the next few days.
In the same way that he kept his own counsel through the crisis, he is advising himself to stay in office. And remember, this is New York. Charlie Rangel got reelected, and
with like 80% of the vote.
People in his district took a strange pride in seeing him return to office after quite a troubled 2 years. Congressman Weiner might be able to survive this, but he will be a very different and probably very diminished member of Congress in the same way that Congressman Rangel is.